we're going to get into allow me, my partner, on stage to get into the next session
Okay.
of where I'm going to call
It's the branding.
Mrs. Elena, Mrs. Elena Dabriso.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone called me specifically and said, "Nze siri mu film, but I'm coming to see Elena." And I was like, okay, get on the bus from Entebbe and come. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll also, I don't know, Brian Mulondo will find us on the way for DSTV so that we can talk to him also. And you can ask some questions. I'm sure as filmmakers, you probably have questions that you want to ask him as well.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to ask Miss Edna from the Kuonyesha Art Fund.
Yeah.
We were very careful in selecting the panel that we brought to you because would like that you get to know the thing according to what is beating us. That is the financial bit in our industry. We selected the panel that is going to help to enlighten the people that have already kind of made it to a level that would like to also make it to, and the people that are actually funders like Kuonyesha Art Fund. So allow me to get into this, and we'll wait for Brad Mulondo. Maybe he'll find us on the way, and then we'll do our last session. All right, you're welcome, ladies. Let's talk business, marketing, and all those things. So you guys can introduce yourselves and maybe projects that you're doing. And yeah, especially Elena, then we get into the questions. All right, don't forget about the Grow initiative that was talked about. There is a fund, there is funding that is available for the woman in the different enterprises, and we are part of that sector that they have chosen. You can see that they've chosen to support us when we say that we're going to have this initiative. They came full board on it. It means that just keep your ears on the ground and keep asking the questions to the people that you saw. Mr. Ragadi in the NCF office, he will be because he's the sector head and he's a board member for Private Sector Foundation, the guys that are running the fund. So run up whenever it is that you have, say, a project that you want to do, and they explain this better. So the NCF offices are just above us, I think second floor. And they tell you how to, prepare yourself for probably the grants that are going to come and the financing that is also going to come. And the first thing that you're going to do is definitely the registrations, and we put it as a landmark for this very session. Are we good with sound? Okay, so Elena, to you.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all in good numbers. My name is Eleanor Nawiso. I'm a filmmaker, director, producer, and first love actress with Nawiso Films. I've done a couple of movies. I'm sure some of you have watched most of my work. And currently running Sanyu. Thank you. And currently producing Sanyu series.
Yes, okay. Edna. Show some love, Banang.
Hi, everyone. My name is Edna Rebecca. I work with the Kuonyesha Art Fund, but I'm also the communication support for a philanthropy support organization based in Uganda, Africa, and Kenya called Safe Source Africa. I'm very glad to be here.
All right. I think I'll kick it off with the Kuonyesha Art Fund. Kuonyesha Art Fund did also support the event, and they support a couple of other, other initiatives, other art initiatives. And I would like for Edna to tell us about that. What is the Kuonyesha Art Fund, and how can people tap into it? Yeah.
The Kuonyesha Art Fund is a very unique fund. It's a feminist fund, and the intention is to support artists in all their diversity. So if you're a musician, you do film, you're thinking of a play, not that you have a play, you might even just have a script. You would love to sing, but you just have lyrics on a page. The Kuonyesha Art Fund is the fund that is there to support such ideas. We exist in an ecosystem to ignite dreams. There's a lot of, when you go out to get funding for artists, it's very difficult because Like Madam Victoria said, people don't understand what you're doing. You wake up one morning and tell them, I want to go and sing, I want to go and do a movie. Nobody will understand that. And also the funding is not there. You'll get funding from your relatives, from your spouse, from your friends, but that runs out. So the Kuonyesha Art Fund exists to support such dreams, such ideas, and we have been in existence since 2020. And this year we are running our third cohort and also launching into Africa. So if you have a dream, if you've ever thought of, we're not going to ask you, show us the evidence, why is that song that you recorded? No. As long as you can write a concept that defends your idea that you want to create, but also make it community-based, because as artists and creatives, we exist in a community. You don't wake up one morning and say, I was inspired to write a love song. You know, if you haven't seen someone in love, if you haven't seen someone in pain, you exist in a community that lives to inspire you. So if you can connect that project to your community and how it affects your community, or how your community can learn from it or benefit from it in one way or another, the Kuonyesha Art Fund is the unique fund that exists to do that.
All right, thank you so much. So you need to tap into this, into the Kuonyesha Art Fund, because if they've said that it is open for you, it's not like you need to have a whole big CV. You know, you just need to have a good idea and defend it well, and then you can be part of it. I can testify that twice I have actually been helped by the Kuonyesha Art Fund. You know, and it wasn't really so hard a thing to do. So it's about information and networking, because I think when I first heard about the Kuonyesha Art Fund was here, you know. So sometimes don't be so much in, this is like an art center. So for me, when I come here, I'm networking, because some artist is doing something. So if you're hanging out with the doctors and you're an artist, you know, there are things that are going to go by you. So when we come, we sit at the bar, we sit this side, we sit, you know, be visible. So that any kind of information that comes, we come for, you know, events that happen here, you meet other people, you come for cinema, UG, you come for the filmings of the Ugandan movies that are happening, like be in touch with the rest of the world, of the artistic world, so that you can tap into these opportunities. So thank you so much for that information. Yes, Edna.
The Kuonyesha Art Fund also heavily supports persons with disabilities. So if you have been rejected because you're disabled and people cannot trust you with funds, we are the unique fund that can trust you with funds. If you are an individual and you've never registered a company and all you have is a dream, we are the fund that supports that. So we're not going to ask you for papers, where is your registered company, how did this idea start, how did it come, you know, how many taxes have you paid? As long as you have that dream, we believe that dreams become reality. So we are all here because someone dreamt, someone loved someone, it was a dream. So we believe in that existence, and we say that being a creative, sometimes it's taught, sometimes it's not taught, but we exist in a system that doesn't have structure. So we are trying to build the gap, but also fund the gap to make sure that creatives that fall out of the cracks, that don't know how to apply, sometimes you could go to apply for a fund and they'll ask you for so many papers. You feel and feel and feel until you're like, I'm tired. Like I've explained this idea, our application form is 1 page. It has got 12 questions. As long as you're an 18-year-old and a consenting adult, you can apply.
Right, isn't that an opportunity for us, guys? We should be showing, you know, much appreciation. Yes. So I'll go to Elena. When they mentioned your name, everyone, you know, woke up, even the ones that were starting to, you know, go to another zone. So I'm sure you're the perfect person to tackle this question, because by the time that all these human beings that are in the art, you know, are uploading you the way they are, and we know you all over, you know, how can we improve our marketing skills to compete globally? Because we want to tap into the global market, you know, of filmmaking. How can we improve, you know, our marketing skills, you know, to compete globally?
Okay, so how many filmmakers here? I know some people who came when they're just doing like normal businesses, but just came for the business summit. So we can talk about both sides anyway to help. First, for filmmakers, I think it's important we ask ourselves, what are you producing? What's your target audience? Who are you producing for? Most times you're going to think, oh, I don't know why my movie is not going to a global place or global awards or getting play in like different cinemas, but you don't know who you produced the movie for in the first place. So before you produce a movie, ask yourself, what am I producing? Who am I producing it for? Is it going to be consumed just by Ugandans? Or can I show this movie across the globe, be it Asia, America, London, Kenya, and they're going to love it? Why am I saying this? You need to know the topic. You might produce a movie called Ensao. See, you laughed. But honestly, Ensao might be watched across the globe. Why? Because everybody holds a bag. I might not know what Ensao is in London, but then I watch a trailer and I know it's about this bag they're moving around. So I want to watch it. Who am I producing it for? Is it the youth? Am I producing for someone in Katanga? Or am I producing for someone in Kampala, up here, or like, across the globe? Once you know that and you've answered yourself, then you're going to be able to globally market your movie. And back in 2019, our vision as Nabuiso Films is to change people's lives through films. That's why most of our movies have that small topic we pinch in there and we leave you discussing. So we did a movie called Bed of Thorns, and it was about gender-based violence with women, most especially. I must say, it's not just a Ugandan topic. Yes, there's gender-based violence in Uganda, in East Africa, but also the globe. And I'm proud to say that this movie went to different states and different countries and won us very many awards in London, in Asia, Australia, Kenya. I can mention so many countries. Why? Because globally, everyone could relate to this. I remember getting so nervous when they said the movie is going to show in London, and we're thinking, let's just market. And we kept trying to post our trailers. We told our friends in London, please, if you have Ugandan communities, just tell them about this movie. It's going to be screening on this date. Most times you go to festivals, you have like 10 people watching a movie in a cinema. But that time, I remember we were in London and we said, you know what, let's just go see. At least we did our part. We tried to go to radio stations and market in there. And I remember sitting in the place where they were showing the movies. It was a big hall. And thinking, okay. So time came and we were like maybe 15 black people. And like 30 minutes later, the hall was full of white people and black people and Ugandans in London, everywhere, like they had come through. When they gave me the mic to say, after the movie showed, we were like this, thank you for coming. And I've never felt like this in my life. But then just to show that it's global. And I remember after that screening, someone came and whispered in my ears and said, you're going to BBC. And I'm like, now? Right now? Like, yeah, right now. They took us through BBC, gave us tags, and went through BBC. I went into the radio and they said, you have to speak about the movie. BBC is a huge studio. Like, you go get a lift and go up, and the studios are like crazy. So many, people presenting, the anchors and the lights. And I said, I'm not going to disappoint my country. Every time we're walking through the corridors, I kept breathing in and out, and holding my fingers tight. And I got in there and I said, I got this. And I said, Matthew, just say action. Say action and I'll have the confidence. And then someone is behind this glass counting for you. And this is now live, and I'm thinking, say it. And Matthew said, action. I said, hi, my name is Eleanor Nabuiso, and I did the Bed of Thorns movie, and I spoke about it so well, and everyone in the studio just was standing up to shake our hands and tell us about the movie. And this movie showed in all the cinemas there and just kept showing on and on and on. And we got so many connections from it, and organizations kept calling to use it and having the cast visit different places. So for me, this example I'll give because a global sale, a global marketing means you have done what it takes to relate to the rest of the world. Yeah? Also, thank you. But also, let's not forget, If you've got the niche of your market, what quality are you producing? You might say, may I have my Canon? I'm going to have a light. Let's shoot this movie. I never said it's a GBV. You shoot the topic. The orphan, shoot. Then the quality, you can't show it on the big screens in the cinemas, because when you take your movie to the cinema, it has to be put in bigger pixels for the people to watch it. So you have to mind the quality, not just quantity. I'd rather do one movie every 5 years and know I have my audience marked out and the market for it. So make the best quality, know what cameras are lined up. There are a list of cameras online for different portals, be it DSTV or online platforms like Afroland TV or anything. They will take your products that have been made with Blackmagic, ARRI, and some other cameras which produce proper HD pictures. So before you start your marketing, you need to know what you're using to create the quality product you're going to market. Because if you're going to sell good quality, people will come and watch, and they'll appreciate the work. Also, let's put money for budgeting. Most times as producers, we get excited. I've got this money, I'm going to produce this movie. And trust me, the crew is very misleading. Guy will come and say, if you don't get this machine, my creativity is limited. You're like, take the money. If I don't get this other lens, take the money. So when you finish, the product is really awesome, but the money is done. The money is done because you wasted so much money on a location you would have spent less on, so many equipments, you used even like one shot for the whole movie, or you'd have done something more creative with the camera and done it the same way. And the movie is done and there's no money. But we forget the post-production is done and we need to market it and distribute it. And that's the problem. You forget to budget for marketing. Marketing, I mean, you're going to look into radio, television, newspapers, billboards, if you can afford it, and shout it out that this is my movie. If I'm driving, I want to see a movie on a screen playing, showing, coming soon. I want to see a billboard. I want to read the papers and there's a write-up about your movie. And this is all money. You pay for these spaces. But then again, you can make connections. If you talk to me, I can connect you to a radio person, a TV person. And these are all friends we made along the years. You don't have to be so famous to have spaces given to you for free. If you know someone who knows somebody, they can get you in. You talk about your movie, the morning show, on the cruise show, I don't know which radio station. Talk to people about it. Play your trailer everywhere. Grow your following on social media. Because with that, you can actually market your movie, and then you'll get the audience you deserve. So let's work on our marketing. The budgets, get to know your crowd. Budget for it. Budget. Because you need to budget for marketing. There are people who are called PR managers, and I think it's PR managers, yeah? These people can do for you the whole thing. You don't have to go running around. If you give them what you want to do, your trailer, who you want to be interviewed, if the cast is willing, then she'll get for you all the radio stations and the newspapers and the TV stations, and she'll just give you a lineup and the dates when you have to be there. Also, it's selfish that most times you do a project and people are not willing to market for you. But then again, remember, it's your movie.
Yeah.
You're going to pay an actress, an actor, and then you tell them, please post about it. If they don't post about it, you know what, don't feel bad about it. You need to grow your brand so that you're enough for yourself. Don't depend on actors, because I always tell the actors and actresses, it's your face, If you want to grow your brand as well, okay, don't tag me. Just hashtag yourself, hashtag your name, hashtag, and put my movie name last. As long as you put it out on social media. They don't want to market. But if a team is willing and you have a good team backing you up, let them put it out. It's always news in people's faces and people's ears when they get to hear about it. So don't stop until people know about it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elena. Marketing is an important aspect that we usually, just kind of put at the back, and then the film just comes, and then, no one gets to know about it. And you've hired all this whole, cinema, and and then you have we have been there, and we kind of know, you're like on Heart Attack, and you've made the film, and you're watching it yourself anyway, so marketing for me. I've also, grabbed it. I realized if I am to make money out of if I'm to make a return on my investment in this thing, the marketing bit I cannot take it for granted. And so for me, when I do my premieres, usually it's full house because I put aside time and usually I have like, when I give my actors and I'm like, let's say I have 5 actors and I'm like, just give me 10 people. Just give me 10 people. If there are 5, those are like 50 people. Then the bigger part, you realize the person that has done the film, you have to do the bigger part of the marketing. Like she's saying, you have to be responsible for your own product. So don't even be so annoyed about people when tomorrow is the show that they are part of and they are just posting on Instagram, go, but they are where, and they are not even posting about the show. It's annoying, but I think you need to get out of those emotions and know that if this is my thing, it is my thing. I've got to, do the best that I can with it. I'll come to Edna. In what ways can the arts, including film, be a powerful tool for encouraging critical thinking and self-expression, especially among women in Uganda, and maybe you could share success stories of your projects in this area.
Self-expression. I'll speak from the side of film. When people want to see what's happening in Uganda, they go to the TV. They rarely go to the radio, but if they're in another country, they'll go to TV. So you exist in a community where you don't exist alone. You have a brother, an uncle, a friend, and all these people have their own destinies, their own stories that they have to tell. They have told you some of these stories. Some have been heartbroken, others have been chucked. All these stories exist within your community. And then you sit and spend a whole week and say, I want that idea. That idea hasn't come. I want to do a movie. I want to sing a song, but that idea hasn't come. And then you forget that you have a friend that told you that something and something happened to them. And you're not existing with them. So what I'll say about self-expression and most of the ideas that we funded is that these are people that looked into their community and said, okay, I'll give you an example. One of them is called Namoye Ebokot. He lives in a small village in Kotido. He was a former cattle rustler. Namoye does not know how to read and write. So when he heard about the Konyesha Art Fund, he actually went to the district councillor and asked him to write for him the application in English. So he would speak in his native language, Ngakramajong, and then have the district councillor write for him that application in English. So Namoye's dream was that I am a cattle rustler, I'm a former cattle rustler, but then he had seen most of his brothers and sisters die. He was born in this kind of violent environment, and he sought to change it. So he started knitting cups. Have you seen the Karamajong cups? The colorful ones that come in very brilliant colors. He started knitting, and he was taught to knit by a church community. He was seeking a way out, and then he went to church. And when he went to church, they didn't tell him, find Jesus Christ. They taught him a craft. So they taught him how to knit cups. So he went back, he started knitting cups, and he involved all his family members. He has 4 wives and 12 kids. He taught all of them how to knit cups, and he started selling the cups. And then when he started receiving money, he's like, okay, I know so-and-so, he's still in this business. Let me involve him. So he takes his time, and his method is he always has a beer with this person that is doing the cattle raiding. And he'll convince that person to join his community. He will not stop until that person leaves the cattle raiding to join his community. And right now, he started in 2017. Right now, his community has got 53 cup knitting Karamajongs that sell their products not only in Uganda, but also across the border. So his message is that peace can exist in Karamoja. And he has started it one person at a time. So you have all these issues that are existing in your ecosystem, that are happening to you, that are happening to your friends. Look at what those issues are. Find a way to address them using your artistic vision.
Yeah. Sure.
If you're a filmmaker, if you're writing songs, yes, it's good to write songs for yourself, but in a way, I'd like to think that being a creator is a gift from God. And once you're given, you have the responsibility to give back. And you might not give back through money, through tangible things, but you being able to express the needs of your community through your creative craft is a way of giving back. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. Look around you, look within your box. You'll always find a wealth of ideas. Another example I can speak about is in 2021, we funded Vanilla, the movie, the one that was curated and directed by Aganza Kisaka. And it's about the caretakers of people that have disability or that have schizophrenia or dealing with mental disability. How are the caretakers taking care of themselves? What sacrifices they have to make? And in our community, you look at, okay, this person is disabled, but you won't look at the auntie, the relative that is taking care of this person, the sacrifices they have to make, the time they have to put in. And when we went to watch that movie, I, for one, I was just crying and crying and crying because I thought of all my friends that couldn't come to all the parties that we'd go to because they had to stay at home and look after someone that is disabled. So this is a person that is looking within their community, looking within their family background or the reach within their friends and seeing what issues exist. So Ponyesha Art Fund is not, like I said, we support diversity of artists. So your idea doesn't have to be structured and say, okay, I'm thinking of maybe creating a movie, let's say about, I don't know what comes to mind, but anything that you can think of, we are there to support you. And we make it so flexible that even our reporting is flexible. We are not the kind of fund that if we give you the money, we are going to call you every day and say, how much have you spent? How many, have you produced the movie yet? Have you done the recordings yet? No. We are a trust-based fund. So when we give you money, we are trusting, it's a seed grant. It's a seed grant because we don't even ask you for the receipts of how you spent your money. We trust that you'll be able to be accountable. So we are planting a seed in you, hoping that you'll plant that seed back into the community, hoping that you'll take that seed and plant it in yourself. Because having this idea is very good, but you have to believe in that idea for yourself. You will not always have cheerleaders around you saying, this is a good idea, this is a great idea. Those people will come they'll come, sometimes they will not come, but you have to be able to believe in yourself. So when you receive a grant, when you receive support, take it as a seed in yourself. Be accountable, be responsible, and finish. You know, if you say you're going to do a movie, if you say you're going to do a song, 5 songs, do the songs anyway. You know, do the songs anyway, because you don't know what that content will create for you at the end of the day.
Okay.
And there are a lot of opportunities for female artists, especially when it comes to the creative industry. The opportunities exist. So if you don't know how to speak English, learn. You know, if you know how to speak Luganda, get a friend who can interpret for you. All these things are possible because most of the grantees that we support, they don't know how to speak English. They don't know how to write. I'll give you an example. There's another grantee that we support. She's on the board of Busia. She's called Namoye Fatuma. Namoye Fatuma has got 7 children. She doesn't have to know how to read, to write, or even how to operate a smartphone. But when she came to the Ponyesha Art Fund and she was able to apply, she applied through a district representative. Now Namoye Fatuma operates a craft shop that is visited by tourists who go to the different tourist communities to go and see the wild animals or the national parks. All of them have to pass by her shop and buy a souvenir that is made in Uganda by Namoye Fatuma. So you're only limited by your dreams or how you think you are.
All right. Thank you so much, Edna. As we're starting to wrap up this session, we're starting to wrap it up as we go for the next one, and then we head for our lunch. It will not get cold. They're keeping it hot. from what you're saying, and from what Elena, is saying, and from what I tell my screenwriting students, some of them graduated yesterday. Thank you for coming. And I tell them, try to make stories that matter to your community. There are continental stories. There are continental stories that are going to sell you global. Continental story writing with convictions, continental convictions that are going to sell you global. The things, I've also done something on domestic violence. And so for me, what I have done is I tag, and I don't do so many movies. But when I do, why I even take so long to produce is because I have attached a purpose to my films. When I did Tired Souls, we did a campaign on TV, on radio. We did campaigns like everywhere. I think that was one that Konyesha, helped and funded. And we were having discussions, because my background is a community psychologist. I'm very, keen about the mind and the health of the mind, mental health and all. And people were calling, even as they're beating us. The men were calling, even as they're beating us. Can you also help us? And we started discussions, to do things to do with domestic violence. Would take experts in some of these things. And what are we doing? We are trying to be relevant in filmmaking. For me, I saw that just making a film and just putting it there, and you don't market it in ways that get you the attention that you need to create change in your society, doesn't make sense, And so I started to make films. There's one I did that is called Choices, and it has been in this theater for how long? Every term we use it. Next week we have 7 schools coming. Every term we do mentorships using that film. Because I'm like, why do we have to do films and not impact our communities differently? Like, engage with the people that are watching your film, It's not only about a premiere or a screening, So Elena was saying that people are calling and saying they're using her film, Bed of Thorns. I loved it. I watched the screening from here. I loved it. And they're using it to teach. And so those are the things that for me I'm creating right now. I create them for schools, And the kids, what happens is the children watch the film, the students watch the film, primary, secondary, and then the program is that now we open up and talk about other issues that, are disturbing them, We talk about self-esteem, we talk about self-identity, we talk about sexuality, we talk about all these things, and now we are even, upgrading the program. We have counselors, because the teachers now keep giving us feedback, abana bakambwe, mutuyambe, how can you help us? So, now we brought Humura, the psychologist. Now that we're getting into, they watch the film, they talk about the things about education. It's mostly educational films, to talk about how to enhance the education. And then after that, we get into the issues that are really hardcore on them. So film is such a powerful tool for communication. So don't just do films, don't just do stories. So for me, I'm so glad that I coach screenwriting and I teach screenwriting. Oh, by the way, there's a film school starting here. So if you want to study, come next year. There's going to be a film school here. So when we are doing our films, I know there are films that I've watched, and everyone has creative license to do what they want. I don't know who makes those films. They are quite gothic. So I don't think you should dedicate your career to doing gothic things and chicken running on 2 legs with a bra on them or something. So, yes, there are audiences for it, but I think let's also invest in stories that are global and that can change the mindset and create critical thinking. They know what I'm talking about. One last thing, Elena, and another last one for you, in 2 minutes tops. Things that you have done to grow and sustain your business, because we admire Nawiso Films, right? Right? Okay, great. So the things that you have done to grow and sustain your business, and what advice can you give to a lady that wishes to succeed like you? Yes. Okay.
Where to start? What have I done to succeed in my business? Well, I should call it our business because I have my partner. For starters, we have a vision. Why I'm going to insist on that is because when you have a vision, you always stay on the trail. If we didn't have the vision, we would kind of want to do everything, including, what did you call it, Nkoko?
Yeah, the nkoko with a bra.
I love horrors, by the way. I love horrors. Yeah, I love thrillers and horrors. But it's not my niche to produce. My vision is to change people's lives through film. So we'll stick to that. And we'll make sure that every time we're writing something, put something in there to remind people about their mental health, just general health, societal issues that are deemed taboo. I like speaking out on very different topics that are deemed bedroom, like secretive topics. I think things should be spoken about. So you need to know your vision, because once you have your vision and the mission, the when, the where, the how comes easy. Because then you're going to know who to employ, who's going to help you. People will come asking, I want to write for you, I want to act for you, I want to do this for you. But your vision and mission should describe who you're going to hire. Some people come when they have the perfect script, the perfect everything, but it doesn't sit well in my vision and mission. So I'll stick to my goals. And for years, I'll sadly put you off, but then the company has to move on with this mission and vision that we started with. What else? Professionalism. If you've worked with me, you know I love protocol. I don't care who you are or how famous you are, even if you're my good friend and you came to me as a director about a costume, I'll give you that look, because there's head of department. If head of department didn't help you, go to the line producer. If he didn't help, go to those people until line producer has to tell me, you know what, Chiganye. The guy in his costume tried, and now it's you to come in. And then I'll come in. And that protects you as a company owner and director, if I'm making sense. That if I'm going to go and start shouting with cast or crew about their equipment and their costumes and their makeup, kind of takes away from you. So sit in the big chair and let everyone you put along the way do their job until they fail.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
By the time you see me in office and say, come to my office, it's a big deal now because the rest have failed. So the other thing, I like to respect people, the way they come. Most people don't even know who I am completely, because if you found me in Katanga, I'll be chewing on Chikajo, just talking like the person in Katanga. Why? Because I want to get a documentary out of you. I want you to speak and tell me the truth about Katanga. I can put a hole here just so you know I'm with you on this. I'm fitting in. If you're speaking good English and you're uptown, I'm going to sit with you in my office and we'll speak. Yeah? I switch like this. So you come down to someone's level to understand them and be with them. And once I say have a good day, I might as well roll my eyes and like, but then I got to your heart, By the time you left, you're like, she understands me, actually. I'm like, no, I was speaking to get my company moving.
Yes.
Yeah? So respect everyone in their caliber. And if you can't take it, you feel your rage is coming on, excuse yourself. Let someone else handle it. The line producers get the beating a lot. I always say, you send the email. Why should I send the email? You say, we've said you're fired because ABC. Sign off your name. So that person takes the beating, but they're willing because you pay them to do that. And then you keep this side. The other thing is delegate. Delegate. You know what the meaning of delegating is? Give out work. When I just started our company, it was just Matthew and I. And we didn't know who to call, who to hold the camera, who to have the lights. Yes, we had people, but we had known them from, like, say, the hostel. People who were recording, doing the lighting, and they were like our first contacts. We called them up, it's like, we have this thing we're going to do. Can you come, do it for us? And then we invested money, did some things together. Then along the way, of course, people move on to different projects, and you're thinking, I have this quick documentary with an organization. I have this commercial with a different organization. So as Nawiso Films, don't just do movies. We do commercials, infomercials, documentaries. And at the time we just started, we didn't have crew, you know. And I remember we would go to the field and Matthew would be on the camera, I'll be on the sound. He's holding the boom after rolling, and we're there like a crew of 2 people. And then we roll someone's interview, next office interview, then we get back and I'll do the editing and then present to the client. And for a long time, as long as we had the small 3-minute videos, 4-minute, 5-minute videos, we would go do it. But remember, we're parents. We're married. So at the end of that day, you want to raise your feet up and the kid is jumping on your shoulder, the other one is on this shoulder, the other one is on your head. You have to cook, you have to do everything. It's a bit taxing in the beginning, but once your vision is clearly mapped out and your mission, you're going to keep moving. So along the way, we got, you know, crew. And guys, I tell you something, you're not the Red Cross and you're not a sister or a brother. If you keep that at the back of your head, let people go. Yeah? Let people go.
Yeah.
If I'm going to give you my camera, handle it. Give me the picture I want because I know what I want. And I've delegated to you to do it for me. But if you're taking me for granted and you're not doing it right, let people go. There's a huge lineup of people who want these jobs. And pray to God every day that He will bring the right people in your lives. And it will happen.
Yeah.
So once you delegate and don't have the right team, let people go. The cream will come. And I'm thankful to God that so far so good. I have a very fabulous crew and cast in most of the projects we do. It takes off the burden from you.
Yes.
And also you employ more people. I mean, if you've been gifted by God, share your gift. So I like to nurture people in different departments so they can take on a role. And then you can, you know, be in the background. It gets taxing because, again, remember, it's your vision and your mission. So don't just let them do what you've been given. Supervise. If you've seen the film done, watch it. Don't just sit there waiting and then the premiere comes and you're like, hey, I told you, take short, man. It's crossing. And filmmakers don't forgive, they will whisper. Then they laugh in the audience. Then,
Boom shadow,
you
boom
know,
shadow.
boom, pick the boom. I saw that boom. And it's funny because don't realize these things in Hollywood movies. You pay attention and you clap and eat popcorn. But a Ugandan movie, critics, I saw that shooter. The hair was on the wrong side. I saw everything, you know. But then supervise, and preview your work. Many times you go back and you're going to preview work and you're dozing, but you have to keep awake. You watch in turns and you're seeing. Let's not blame the crew and the cast. People get tired and there's so much pressure to deliver, but if the editor's done their part, the crew did their part, you have to preview your work. I preview a lot, Matthew previews, but when you preview, you're going to see all these mistakes, the boom, the crossing. Why? Because the editor was tired and they've edited like 50 episodes for you, so be grateful. Send the corrections, and when they're more relaxed, they'll edit again. And then they'll give you the perfect piece.
All right.
Above all, again, I say this in all the things I present and symposiums, if you're good at something, don't let it rest until you're better, and don't let it rest again until your better is best. Yeah?
Right. Okay, so delegate so that you can have enough time to being the vision bearer of your work, so that you can have enough time to plan and create strategy and let other people. I'm doing classes with MOOBS, some business courses for High Innovator, and one of the things that they're teaching is hire the best at what they do, so that you don't really have to, you know, because sometimes you hire, I've done that. Sometimes you hire people and then you do their work. You get, and it's so annoying. And by the time you come to do your own part, you're tired. You get. So I'm starting to think about it a lot, and I'm starting to practice it. So let's do that. The delegation bit, I'm still learning.
So can I just say one thing for producers?
Yes.
I feel like we ignore a lot of our audience. Most times you create for what I want or what they want. Like, you don't think of what who you're producing for. So if I could just say for the next project, if you're a writer, just forget yourself when you're writing. It's like, you know when you're an actress and you get a script and you read and you're like, I know who wrote this one. Yeah, because they are that person. And it's so annoying because sometimes you feel like, as a character, I would have delivered it with this other word. Why would they write this word for me? But then if you'd forget who you are and write for people, you find how interesting it gets because it's as important as leaving your comfort zone and living with people, you know? Personally, if I'm going to do a character, I like to live it. Every character. I'll find someone who is like that character and hang around with them just to use them. Use people. So you can get, you know, not in a bad way, but like use people to
In
get
a good way.
to get from them, yeah?
Yes.
Steal from them.
Yeah.
If I have to get a character trait from someone I'm not like at all in my life, I would befriend them a lot. They could be one of your friends. It's never so far. Hang out with them, keep calling them on a Friday, what are you doing? Let's hang out, let's hang out, let's hang out. And I'm going to look at how you hold your fork, how you do this and that, and I'll pick a leaf. And you go like, but sometimes when you're acting, I feel like you're pinching me. I was like, no, but that's the script. But because I saw you do it, I feel like I should just wear it. But even
Right.
as producers, what's going on in the world, you know? Before we used to target companies, I would know what is Oblamu doing, pregnancies and what, okay, what is so-and-so doing, okay. And I'll produce for them. Because and if I presented my proposal and my trailer, they'll be like, how did you know? You know, coincidentally, we have the same topic going on in our company. I say, you see, if you use visual art now, it would sell. And you get paid.
Yes.
Stop thinking
that's
of I
true.
should do a movie because in my house,
That's true.
the maid does this. Or in my house, my husband does this. So I'm going to make a movie about the husband and the wife who did ABC. There are not so many people who are like you out there. But write for someone out there who's going to relate. That's how the audience is going to come.
All right. Thank you so much, Elena. I'm also going to give a last word in a minute to Edna, to the women that are in film, the business part of it, or anything that you'd like to say to them. And then being that Kuonyesha, are there any opportunities that are open right now? Is there something coming up? And how can we apply for it in like a minute, really, so that we can, you know.
For Kuonyesha Art Fund, we have a call going to come out in 2024. So visit our website from time to time and know when it's coming out. Get your ideas ready. So this is the incubation period. From now until December, write something. Get your project idea into a concept note, you know, experiment with it, get different people to contribute to that idea, test it out and see if it works, you know, with yourself, with your community, so that when the call comes out, you're not saying, what's that idea that I had, you know? So do that. My last 2 cents would be, if no one is giving you an opportunity, create an opportunity for yourself.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And if there are no opportunities, don't be bitter. Be open, you know, because bitterness stops you from looking around you and learning. It keeps you in your own little neat box and you can't see what else is happening around you. So people will not always open doors for you, but you have life. And because you have life, and also you're a woman, and we were nurtured to create things. When God wanted to create human beings, he chose us. That means we are full of ideas, we're full of knowledge, and we multiply what we create. So you're already born with that capability. You don't have to learn it. You were born with it. You were created with it. So tap into that and create from that, you know?
Right.
If things fail, try again. If a woman fails to have a child, she'll try and adopt one. If she really wants a child, she'll try and adopt one. She'll be friends with one. She'll go the extra mile to make this dream happen. So that isn't within our nature. So if you get one door closed, go back. Find another door.
Yes.
If they say no, ask them why. You know? If they say no, ask them, why did you say no? Because why did you say no will help you become better and also present a better idea. Sometimes when you get the no, you close all your windows, your doors, you block them. You even, you know, throw out their number, their email addresses will be blocked. You'll never talk to them again.
Yes.
But like the speaker who gave the keynote said, we were born to be nagging people. We're nagging creatures. Ask. Ask, because the best you can get is a no. If you haven't gotten a no yet, there is a maybe, there is a yes, there's a
Let's see. Next year.
all those options are available.
Yeah.
So ask until you get a no.
All right.
If you haven't gotten a no, you still have an opportunity to ask.
Thank you so much, Edna. Guys, a round of applause to our panel. She said everything I would have said. I disturb people until they're like, "Neighbor Brakan, you know." So you just can't be nice. You just go read some book called is it The Good Girl Doesn't Get the Corner Office or something like that. You know, you've got to can't be too nice about certain things. You've business, in business. You've got to have some shark and leave some skin in the game. Anyway, so as we go into the next session, I'm sorry, we're just going to jump into the next session. But sound, just give us like a very amazing song that is going to get our panel from here and bring the other panel. I don't know if Richard is there. Some amazing, nice song that is going to bring them dancing. So guys, a round of applause to our... And paparazzi, please do document this moment. I don't know where you are. Eric?
Media,
Eric?
please. Yeah.
Yes. So even as the other panelists come, maybe I just call them here. We take this other group photo and then they can leave and then the others can come.
All right.
And then we can proceed. I'm going to call Mariam Dagire, our own mama. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Doreen Mirembe.
Of course.
Nana Kaga.
Yeah.
Nachi Sanze is from FemRight. We decided to have this conversation with FemRight. And Brennan Nsima. So you can join us here. Paparazzi does something. Bananga, we need that song. We document this moment, and then we fall into the next session. Thank you so much, Edna. Thank you so much, Elena. And we appreciate all the work that you do. We are inspired, actually. Yes, we are inspired. Yes, for the picture. I think we can be here.
Paparazzi, please.
Yes, come.
Yes, on stage.
Yeah.
This is our moments for shining.
Moment of
So
greatness.
let's shine. We're going in.
Next session will be about
Take it on. Take it on.
all right.
You can dance to this.
Cameras, please. Next session will be about gender stereotypes, book adaptations, authentic African stories, exporting Ghanaian culture through film, and the position of women in film. Yeah.